I was out here a few weeks ago where I did a video on the Mount Aurum gold mines on Enoggera Creek. But about a kilometre further west, I noticed on my trusty LiDAR map that there was a couple of impressions that I wanted to go and take a look at because they're very distinct, very circular in shape. There's really only one main one that I want to look at, because I have a feeling it is an unmarked shaft. It looks a lot like some of the deep shafts that I found up here before. It's not marked on any of the maps that I could find. So hopefully I'm about to go and find a mine shaft that hasn't been discovered for many decades. This is a really pleasant hike if you ever get a chance to come out here. It's about 9:30 on a Monday morning, first day of spring. So I've reached this little bend here, which I believe is the point where I turn off to the left. We've got to head down through the bush here now in a east-southeasterly direction. And I think it's about 200 metres. I've got to stay on the high side of this ridgeline just there. It does look like it's a fairly flat section. You could walk up, or you could bring maybe a horse and cart up here. You know, I'm looking at this and this looks like wheel tracks. This path here has been gouged out, possibly either by some motor driven vehicle or maybe horses, but definitely looks like a wheel tracks come down here. So fingers crossed. Hopefully what I'm about to find is something spectacular. Very difficult to judge distance, and I forgot two things. I forgot to bring a GPS and I also forgot to bring my gloves. But being the start of spring, fortunately the lantana is quite dry and not quite as lush and overgrown. Okay, it looks like I'm at about the point where this ridge line stops and it drops off in all directions. And if the old LiDAR is correct, just over there underneath that fallen tree, I'm hoping is going to be either a Wapengrobie mine shaft or nothing. Big smiles all around. I'm about 20 meters away from this. I have no idea how deep this is going to be, but I can spot a mullock heap just over there. There's a little grass tree there. Now you're seeing this live because I don't know what's in there. So if we walk over here and I'll keep looking. Holy smokeroonies. This looks pretty good. This looks very, very promising. Oh, there you go. I mean, it's not a massive, it's not really a shaft, but it's definitely an adit. You can see over that bit just there, there's a big piece of quartz that's still in the ground there. It is quite big. You can make out the quartz over here. You can see that's the kind of stuff that they're digging out. But there, who knows what's inside that. It must have been worthwhile to dig a big hole like that. Like if I just chuck that down there, give you an idea of how deep it is. It's probably 3 meters deep. Could have been a shaft at some point going down that way. I might go in and I'll poke around with one of these big sticks. But yeah, it doesn't look like someone's deliberately put these trees over it. I think they've just fallen down, but it's not something that you know, is the greatest find I've ever had, but it's still pretty cool to be out here in the middle of nowhere and to find that kind of shaft. I'm going to put the longitude and latitude. That's called the coordinates. For those in the know, that's the coordinates. And the what 3 words location of this if you want to come down, have a look. It seems like it goes a fair way down. It's probably another 2 feet 2 feet down below that leaf litter. Now I just wonder whether maybe it might have, like that's really soft into there. I'm just trying to make sure. So I'm wondering whether maybe that was a decline, whether they started to build. I think they did, because I can feel that keeps going down in there. It's probably not making very good video, but if I poke that in there, it goes down. It just keeps going down. So I don't know whether I should go down in there. I'm going to go down there and see what's down there. There we go. Try and get that bit there. So this section here appears to have been filled in. If I push down like that, I don't think it is a decline. I think that's just full of some pretty soft leaf litter that goes in probably 1.5 to 2 feet. I'll show you this here. That's the kind of quartz that they would have been pulling out of here. Who knows whether there's any gold in that. Now I just got to climb out of here. Well, since this one doesn't have a name to it, I'm claiming it. I'm calling it Cam's Mine 2025. So a few weeks ago I caught up with the crew from the Twisted Vision series. We get together every now and then and we do a theme series of videos. Anyway, I was introduced to a guy by the name of Will. Now, forgive me if your name's not Will. I'm sure that your name was Will. But if it's not, I'll put it in the comments and I apologise in advance. But he approached me and said that he had found the Cathedral mine shaft, which we think's about a 5-metre mine shaft, which I did in one of my previous videos, just a little bit east from here on Mount Nebo Road. So I thought, while I'm up here, he actually gave me the coordinates for that one. I'm going to go down and have a look at that one. Again, I can't claim that I actually found this one. Harry, the digging detective, and I walked around for about 45 minutes and I realised we were completely on the wrong side of the hill. So once I get back up to Mount Nebo Road, I'm going to trek down and have a look at that one. These little Scotch Greys, they're really bouncing around there. I'm not sure whether you can see them, but seems to be like a whole nest of them just in here. I really hope you can see that, but they're like a giant mozzie. They're like a 4 or 5 times as big as a mozzie. Must be like a little nest of them in there, so I reckon that's pretty cool. I'll see if I can stir them up. There they go. I'll find out the scientific name of those. I've always called them Scotch Greys, but I could be wrong. Alright, so this is just a random little find. It's right next to where I park my car. I actually believe that there is a mine at it. There's the fence post just there, but this looks like it's been dug out by hand. So hopefully this is going to be an easy one to find. Just got to climb it over the fence to get in here, because I kind of know where I'm going. I've just got to make sure that I take the correct right turn. So this is the Duck Creek break. Found someone's little camp spot here. I think they're fairly modern pavers. I was hoping there might be something written on them, but no, it's like they're fairly new, although it's a long way to carry a whole bunch of bricks like that down here. I was only up here about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and it's strange how your memory does funny things. This looks completely different to what I did then. Could be the change of season, but I know just up here there should be a small adit. So the small adit that I found a few weeks ago was just in here. But the information that I've got is that the cathedral, the shaft, is just over here. Now, again, I haven't seen this cathedral shaft, so I'm probably more likely to just fall in it rather than see it. But so you're viewing this as I'm viewing it, so I think it's over here somewhere. It looks like there's a bit of a hole here. Now, what is this here? Hello, there's one over here. What's that one? Well, that's definitely a shaft. I think I've found, alright, so that's the first shaft. That's only about 1 metre deep, about 3 metres long, which means that over here I should find, and I think I can see the malachite. Again, I haven't seen this one. I've been walking around for the last half an hour trying to sync my GPS, but it hasn't worked. But I finally found it, I think. It's coming over here. Going over. Okay, so what have we got here? Alright, so that goes down to the bottom of the ravine there. And this, I believe, is the cathedral, or what is left of the cathedral. Now, it's a decline. You're definitely not going to be able to get into that one there. Wow. That's all caved in, so I can't even see down there. But if that's the cathedral, I think it was saying it was about a, what did they say, a 5 metre shaft. That's way less impressive than what I had hoped. I had hoped that that would be a tunnel, but I found the cathedral anyway, so that's one we can tick off the list. There's not much to say about that one. It's a big old sort of ravine malachite down there. So there's a few diggings around here. There's that last one I just showed you, and about 20 metres that way to the west is another small adit. But that's still pretty cool. It would have been something cool in its day. I mean, who knows how far that's gone down there. It's obviously just all that whole section there is caved down, so probably the original sort of cave wall was where that sort of bit of hard stuff here is, that there. But still quite impressive that they hacked through all of that. Cool. All right, well, I'm going to head back out of here now and get back to my car. Hope you've enjoyed this video. It was pretty cool that I can now unofficially claim my own mine shaft. There you go. As usual, have a great day.